Interim life safety measures is a very specific requirement that Joint Commission has in place and the NFPA, which is National Fire Protection Association. And what this means is that anytime you take a life safety system out of service, you have to implement interim measures. So when we close a corridor door that is an exit door, we have to say, well, hey, we realize that we are closing a corridor door, and to protect people, we're going to give them alternate routes, we're going to put systems in place, et cetera. And depending on what system you're putting in place depends on what you have to do. So you'll see some of this around the campus. We'll have maps, we'll have these alerts. This is very specific language that we're required to post. The easiest thing to do, if you have an issue and you're concerned about getting out of the building, is to follow the red lit exit signs. As we make changes, as we close corridors, as we close exits, we are adjusting all the exit signs. So at all times, the exit signs are accurate and will take you the shortest way out of the building and the most direct route. So nobody expects you to have to go up and read a map to get out of the building if there's an issue. Just follow the exit signs. As we do work, we're altering the exit signs, adding, deleting, changing, et cetera, to make sure that they take you out of the building. Infection control risk assessment. I know this is a very busy slide. All I want to highlight here is that infection control is one of the most important things we do in healthcare construction. That is what keeps our dust and our debris from affecting patients. So in every project, we look at the type of construction that we're going to do, and we look at the type of risk to the patients in that area, and then we come up with, we use this matrix to kind of say, what do we need to implement? What class of interim ICRA, infection control risk assessment, do we need to put in place? Most everything associated with this project is either going to be a level 3 or level 4. And there's not a big difference between 3 and 4 anyhow. So these are some of the things we have to do with these class 4 ICRAs. Essentially, and again, this is a very busy slide, but essentially what this says is that we have to take and we have to keep that area under negative pressure so that as you open the door, nothing escapes that space. As we're taking debris and demolition stuff out of the building, we put it in a cart, we make sure it's covered, we make sure the outside of the cart is clean, we take it out of the building, because there will be times when we're taking construction debris through occupied areas at the hospital. We want to make sure that that's well contained and that we're not affecting anything else. And then there's some other requirements that we won't go through the whole thing. Again, parking we know is going to be a challenge. We've got over 2,000 spots on this campus right now. So we feel like we have adequate parking, but we're going to take it a step further. And we know patient parking is going to be an issue at the front entrance. We own the property that's directly across the street. That was a life trust for the Thompson family. It has now been turned over to us, and we're we're proposing at least to take to our board to expand patient parking across the street and build a nice lot there, and then also expand additional parking for team members where what used to be called the Pink Palace. There's a little house back there on Wren Street that's by our Butler building that we're going to tear down and turn into team member parking. So we'll be adding team member and patient parking as part of this project.